Well, over the last half an hour or so, Times Now's super exclusive investigation has brought out 5 reports. Not 1, not 2, but 5 reports. These are 5 medical reports that prove that Judge Loya died a natural death. There was no foul play. These reports confirm, and these are scientific reports, not wishy-washy conjectures based on hunches, based on emotional sentiment. Scientific analysis documenting every minute that led to the cardiac arrest and the untimely demise of Judge Loya. This shows that death today is being dressed up as a big mystery to serve some big political ulterior motive. I can't say, but there is a lobby hard at work. We've heard from the lobby all day today, and then this lobby has been endorsed by political parties. The Congress, the left, the TMC, several others uniting to suggest that someone wanted to eliminate Judge Loya, who was hearing a very vital matter, hearing the case of Sohrabuddin, who was killed in an alleged fake encounter. And one of the accused in that case, till he was acquitted, was BJP President Amit Shah, who at that time was the Home Minister of Gujarat. Therefore, to secure an acquittal of Amit Shah, Judge Loya, who had become an impediment, who had been allegedly offered bribes, was removed from the scene. And a more friendly judge was brought to rule in favor of Amit Shah. That's the sum and substance of the case that is being made out by the lobby. Listen, as the Congress and other political parties came out and made this statement, before which I want you to listen before I go across to the panel. Ujjwal Nikam with us, very senior public prosecutor. Also with us, KTS Tulsi, very responsible member of parliament who has come out today and alleged murder in this particular case. He has also said that the family, the son in particular of Justice Loya, who comes out and says that there was no foul play, is being pressured. We also have Shahzad Poonawalla and a very, very close friend and batchmate of Judge Loya, Uday Gaware, who believes that his friend was eliminated, died of mysterious causes. Here first, listen to the sound bites, and then I will come straight out to KTS Tulsi and Ujjwal Nikam.
If a matter impinges in this manner as on a vital organ of Indian democracy, and therefore on democracy itself, then the demand for an inquiry is a demand by responsible stakeholders and is not dependent on whether family member A wants it and family member B does not want it.
No individual, be it son, be it wife, be it father, be it close relation of the deceased, has a right to ask the state to close a particular case of suspected murder. You may have no suspicion, but the state has suspicion. The people of this country have suspicion. Therefore, it will have to be probed. This should not be taken as a political matter.
Without harassing the family in any way, since the matter is now sub judice, it should be impartially investigated so that any apprehensions that are there regarding this matter are either put to rest or fully investigated.
Let me go straight across to KTS Tulsi and Ujjwal Nikam. Mr. Tulsi, you have come out and suggested that there is foul play. Now, scientific evidence in the form of these reports in my hand, whether it's the post-mortem report, whether it's the Visra report, whether it is the histopathology report, whether it is the ECG report, they all seem to suggest that Judge Loya died of natural circumstances, sir. This is science speaking.
All right, I'd like to ask you, how many committees went into the investigation of cases against the butchering of the Sikhs in '84? How many committees? More than 15. And the Supreme Court has appointed another one after 30 years. And if that can be done, how many reports with regard to Shashi Tharoor gave him a clean chit? And yet the investigation goes on. Why is anybody afraid of court-monitored investigation in this case? Why is the
Mr. Tulsi,
Times now converting itself into a CBI?
we're not converting ourselves into a CBI, sir. Just like Caravan magazine today defended its own right to investigate this matter, so does Times now reserve the right to do honest journalism and bring out the facts. Caravan quoted the sister to say no ECG was conducted. Right. It was a faulty ECG. Here is the ECG report, sir. And we spoke to the person who conducted the ECG, who is willing to stand by not just the ECG but the report itself. So, sir, I want to ask you, why does one group,
all this amounts to
why does one
witnesses.
group, sir, have the greater claim over another group? And I'm only asking you, sir, is there any doubt that poor Sikhs were butchered?
I want to say,
do you say that
what the
so
Times
many
now
Sikhs
is doing
died
is
in the
completely
afternoon? No, sir, please. Don't do this every day on this channel. Don't denigrate just because it doesn't suit your argument. These are documents, sir. These are documents that have been submitted. I'm not faking these documents.
There has to, there's
I don't
statutory
question,
procedure
sir,
of
your
investigation.
motives. I'm not questioning
The
your motives. I don't question your qualifications.
To investigating agency.
Sir,
it doesn't give power to Times now.
Sir, with due respect, sir, I don't question your motivations. I don't question your degrees. I don't ever question whether you should be holding or arguing a particular brief. I'm only asking you, sir, you claim murder. You seem to have jumped the gun. On what basis are you claiming murder? There is scientific evidence here.
I don't claim murder.
You said, sir.
I don't claim murder.
You said, sir. Should I play out the soundbite?
I don't claim murder.
Should I play out the soundbite?
I'm only saying there are suspicious circumstances.
What suspicious circumstances?
I only say there are some suspicious circumstances which point to that this is not a natural death. That's
on what basis, sir? On what basis? On what basis are you saying so?
I'm only saying that inquiry alone will find out as to whether this is natural or unnatural.
On what basis are you saying so, sir? On what basis are you saying so? Tell me. What is the basis?
The first thing on the basis on which I'm saying the first thing, 5 o'clock, 5 a.m., Justice Mr. Loya's family is informed that he is no more. 5 a.m., 6:15 is recorded in the records of the Government Medical College, Nagpur, that's the time of death. A person who is living was pronounced dead.
No, sir, because this report in my hand says that efforts were being made to revive him. That a call had already gone. Now, sir, I have had a personal... No, 1 minute, Mr. KTS Tulsi. No, 1 minute, sir, please. Let me tell you, I've had a personal bereavement of someone who was very, very dear to me. And she passed away, sir, at a particular time. We all knew that she was gone. But the hospital certified her dead later. It took half an hour for them to actually do all the tests to be sure. So please, sir, we know, sir. Let's not be clerical. You are talking about a very serious issue. You are suggesting that a judge of a court was killed and eliminated on the basis
for half a minute.
No, sir, please. Let's read the entire report. Let me read out the report.
Please indulge me for half a minute.
No, sir, I want to read out the report, sir. Maybe you don't have the report. I can indulge you, sir, all day, all evening. Patient was taken to Dande Hospital, ECG done. While shifting, patient collapsed. That is, while shifting from Dande Hospital to Mediterranean Hospital, he collapsed. Insignificantly, resuscitation started. After reaching to hospital, emergency medication given. DC shock, this is a defibrillator we are talking about, shock of 200 joules given multiple times. Rhythm required for short period. CPR continued as per ACLS protocol. But in spite of all resuscitative efforts, patient could not be revived. Declared death at 6:15. Brought in, sir, as you know, at 5:50. Within 20 minutes, the person is declared dead. What is wrong in that, sir? The doctors are doing their job.
All right. Can I answer? We needn't get worked up about this. Let us say that you are 100% right. Let's assume for the sake of argument you are 100% right. The court-monitored investigation will bail him out.
Absolutely.
It will establish the same thing.
But sir, look at the clever way in which... Yeah, no
Why
problem.
is anybody afraid of court-monitored investigation?
We have never said that we should not have a court-monitored investigation. It is certain people of a particular fraternity who are today questioning, are also now questioning the bench that has been appointed, saying that that particular bench is going to sabotage this particular case. So look at the surround sound.
No people are questioning.
Dushyant Dave did in court.
Senior judges who are
Indira
members of the
Jaising did in
collegium
court.
who are
4 senior judges have come out and said, sir, that all is not well, that this case was deliberately given to a junior judge or a junior bench with a motive. Now let's not deny that, sir. That's a fact. So an atmosphere is being created of suspicion. I want to bring in Ujjwal Nikam. Ujjwal Nikam, what would you say, sir? Scientific evidence here says
let there
no
be
foul
an inquiry.
Rahul, it is always said that document speaks for itself. Now, whenever I have conducted number of the murder cases, at some times in order to find out whether it was a homicidal death or not, normally I rely upon 2 important documents. And the first document is that admission card, that is medical legal, that is certificate, and thereafter the post-mortem report. Out of 5 documents which I have just now shown on the channel, I think the first admission paper, that is the most vital document, because that shows and proves what was the condition of the patient at the time of the admission in the hospital, what type of treatment was given, and what were the observations. This is the first time. Now secondly, post-mortem notes. Now you have rightly pointed out column number 17. Column number 17, there were no external injuries. So actually that the beating or outside, that can be ruled out. So far as the internal examination is concerned, intestine is concerned, no foreign material was found in the body. That also completely rules out the theory of the poisoning. Now the cause of the death. Now the doctor has clearly opined, so far as the cause of the death is concerned, based on the histopathology report. And I personally feel, after reading the whole reports, it's a case of natural death and nothing more than and nothing less than that.
Okay, well, in just a few moments, I'm going to be bringing out to our viewers the 4th important report in this entire collection of papers that we have been accessed, and this is the Visra report right here in my hand. This is the Visra report. I just want to very quickly, at the top of it, sum up what we are doing. A concerted attempt has been made by a large number of self-styled rights activists today to suggest that there have been reasons to be suspicious about in the death of Judge Loya. We have individuals who have taken to the podium demanding an independent probe into the death of Judge Loya, suggesting that there was foul play. Speaker after speaker suggested that the government should not be running away from this independent probe. The government has not actually run away from this independent probe. The government has stood by as a PIL was filed in the Supreme Court. That PIL itself has become now a point of discord, because there are some people who suggest that the PIL was being heard by a judge or a bench that was too junior to go into a matter of this significance. An allusion has been made to bench fixing in the Supreme Court. In a sense, there is now today much more pressure on the bench to actually continue on with this particular case. And even if today they felt that there was no legal basis to admit this PIL, they will find their hands tied. And this is all happening, in fact, in the run-up to a very, very important season of elections, which will culminate in the Lok Sabha elections. The individual who is most affected by any probe into the death of Judge Loya is Amit Shah, the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and also who was, at the time of Judge Loya's death, still an accused in the case which is today known infamously as the Sohrabuddin fake encounter case. If this entire episode and PIL is admitted, a probe is ordered, Amit Shah goes straight back as a suspect in yet another instance of an unfortunate and untimely death. That is where this issue politically stacks up. Times Now, the last 1 hour, has been bringing out document after document which suggests that Justice Lawyer did not die an unnatural death. He died a natural death. We have here with us the register of the guest house. We have here with us, most importantly, the ECG report. This ECG report, many people say, did not even exist. The sister of Judge Lawyer, in fact, said that the ECG machines were not even working. Caravan, a leading magazine, carried her quote to suggest that the ECG was not working. We have proven that the ECG did work. We spoke to the doctors who conducted the ECG, and you can see the abnormal spike in the electrocardiogram which suggests that Judge Lawyer was having distress at 5 a.m. in the morning as far as his heart was concerned. Then we accessed the MLC made out by the Mediterranean Hospital. First, Judge Lawyer was taken in the wee hours of the morning of the 1st of December 2014 to the Dande Hospital, where the ECG was conducted. The ECG showed anomalies. The doctor said, you need to go to a super specialty hospital. The Institute of Medical Sciences, Mediterranean, admitted him. A large number of tests were conducted, and an effort was made to revive him. Unfortunately, the judge passed away. And he passed away not because, viewers, not because he had suffered some external injury, but because his heart had given up on him. How do we know this? Because we've accessed the forensic report. The forensic report, which is the post-mortem report, right here, and it makes very straightforward, simple conclusion, right on page number 7. Page number 7 tells us that there was no foreign body found in either the trachea, the buccal cavity, etc. So there was no question of him being smothered, suffocated, or in any other way done away with. On page 8, it says the death of failure. There is no question of a probable cause. The cause, the word probable is struck off, and it says coronary artery insufficiency. Makes it very clear that this was an unfortunate cardiac event. It has been duly signed here on page 9 by the doctor. We spoke, in fact, to those who attended. Let's just play out some of those sound bites which give you a sense, really, of what actually has transpired. Here in my hand, most importantly, is the viscera report. Why don't we focus on the viscera report? Here it is. And you can see that the analysis started on the 5th, 1st, 15. Analysis completed on 19/01/15. What does the viscera report say? Once again, general and specific chemical testing does not reveal any poison in exhibit number 1, 2, and 3. Viscera in a plastic jar labeled stomach with its contents, loop of intestines with its contents, viscera in a plastic jar labeled pieces, 1/3 liver, 1/2 spleen, 1/2 kidney each. And it goes on and on. Here is the histopathology report. Megha Prasad, who has accessed these documents, is also with us. Megha, very, very quickly take us through the histopathology report, because it again points towards a natural circumstance. Megha, we're going to try and get Megha across, but here it is. You can see each one of the conclusions that have been drawn. Dr. S.M. Kavathalkar, Associate Professor. Sir, aap dekh rahe hain. Gaware saab, you're a dear friend, you're a batchmate. Are you now satisfied, sir?
No.
That there was no foul play?
No, there is a foul play.
How can you say that, sir?
Because the dead body of Justice Loya was nobody with him. वो अकेले नागपुर से लातूर आ गए.
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely.
We have interviewed certain
Yeah,
people who say
definitely.
they were there with him.
No,
I'll play out the interview, sir.
I was present at the time of funeral at Gategaon.
अच्छा
मैं वहां पर था
जी
और उसी दिन से चालू है
जी
कि जज लोया की मौत नेचुरल नहीं है.
मगर सर इतना साइंटिफिक एविडेंस है.
डेफिनेटली जब ये
तो फिर?
साइंटिफिक एविडेंस है तो 2014 में अनुज ने क्यों कंप्लेंट क्यों कर दी? उसका जो बच्चा है उसने 2014 को उनकी कंप्लेंट
क्या
कर दी।
पता उनके ऊपर प्रेशर हुआ हो।
अब प्रेशर बन गया है।
अब प्रेशर बना,
हाँ,
पहले नहीं बन सकता था।
पहले प्रेशर कहाँ था?
पहले नहीं बन सकता था।
फिर
क्या आज माहौल में क्या बदला? 2014 में सर कौन प्रेशर डालता उन पे?
जो कहते हैं
प्रेशर कौन डालता? यूपीए सरकार डालती।
हाँ?
2014 में तो यूपीए सरकार थी।
नहीं, वो तो प्रेशर नहीं है, उन्होंने फेयरली कंप्लेन कर दी कि इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए।
अजीब बात है सर, आज का प्रेशर ज्यादा, पुराना प्रेशर कम।
आज का प्रेशर ज्यादा है।
और ये साइंटिफिक रिपोर्ट,
ये साइंटिफिक रिपोर्ट अगर कुछ हद तक मान भी लिए,
नहीं मानना क्या है?
वन बात सुन लिए मेरी। हम तो क्या कह रहे हैं कि इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए।
सर मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं,
यस सर,
ये साइंटिफिक रिपोर्ट है, आप साइंस में बिलीव करें या ना करें? अगर आप ना करें तो सर पूरा जूरिस्प्रूडेंस ही खत्म हो जाएगा।
डेफिनेटली जूरिस्प्रूडेंस खत्म नहीं हो जाएगा।
आप ये अगर कहना चाह रहे हैं कि ये सब कुक्ड रिपोर्ट है,
साइंस है,
ये झूठ है,
ये
झूठ है सर, झूठ।
ये अगर सही है,
आप मुझे ये बताइए।
ये सही है कि ये देश महात्मा गांधी गुजर के कितने दिन के बाद उसको 4 बुलेट लग गई थी या 3 बुलेट लग गई थी, इसकी चर्चा कम क्यों करता है?
We've got a conspiracy theorist who says 4 bullets were pumped into Mahatma Gandhi. Now we have a situation here where there will be no limits to not believing. Unfortunately today a tragedy is becoming a political prop. And I want to come to you, Mr. John Dayal. You were there today speaking. There is so much evidence today, so much evidence. Why do you believe it's a foul play?
So produce this evidence before an independent inquiry.
It's before a Supreme Court judge.
Rahul, it is so simple. Ask your principals who gave you all this thing to produce it before an independent
Excuse me,
inquiry.
what do you mean by principles? No, I'm actually a bit tired of you making allegations here. No, what principles?
You have not got it from the
My
ether.
reporter, sir, went out. Mega Prasad went out, has gone to Latur. We have investigated and gone right down to ground zero.
But this is a photocopy
1 second.
of some...
I'm not referring to you, sir.
This is a photocopy of some document.
Of some document? Of some document?
Is this the document itself?
It is obviously a copy.
It is obviously a copy.
Original, how will he get the original?
Precisely.
You see,
Journalists don't get original.
no. 1 second. You see, here is a senior journalist speaking, and I heard your speech, we broadcast it, and you said, you know, for years altogether, we have gone down to the source of a story. You said that today. We have done exactly the same.
You have...
No, 1 second, sir. So the Caravan magazine is right because for some reason they're imbued by some halo. And Times Now's investigation is false because it is cooked up on fake and false documents? How dare you?
Because...
How dare you, sir?
I'll tell you...
How dare you?
I will counter dare you. I will double dare you. Let me tell you one thing. I boycott Republic and I come to Times Now.
I don't care about Republic and so on and so forth. I'm asking you, sir, how dare you make such an accusation against the hard work that has been put in by a journalist?
Between the two channels. So let me present you my case. My case is
I don't see, sir, an iota of difference between an apologist for a particular type of politics that stood there today and you, sir, today. I can make that claim.
I will offer you that.
And it is shocking, sir. It is
you
shocking
that
today that we're not talking about the fact. We're talking about the intention.
As much as we offered a platform to the people from
what kind of panelist is this?
I will offer you a platform.
Dr. John Dayal, you know, I'm terribly sorry. There is a limit to belief. There is a limit to belief.
You're talking empty.
Okay, we're talking empty.
You are
your exposition today before hundreds of people was based on solid fact. It was based on intuition.
Every individual
this is fact.
Who dies on earth
this is fact.
Dies of a heart attack or of a cessation of brain activities. There is no third way of dying. Having said that, I am saying, please produce that evidence, not before me, not before yourself. Produce it before a competent authority, which is all that you are asking.
I'm coming to you. Okay. No one is trying to quash any inquiry. We are in fact
Just
suggesting...
That. I am on that limited point.
One minute, sir. So are we. But we don't want the innuendo.
And while we are on the subject,
sir,
Rahul,
please,
half a second. As much as I don't call you a self-styled journalist, never call me a self-styled human rights activist. I am a human rights activist.
I'm glad, sir, for you. I'm glad. And that's why you got this podium today here in Times Now, because we respect your credentials.
Thank you very much.
But very importantly, sir, I hope, I'm glad you made that. I'm glad you made that caveat. But I want to come across to you, sir. Look, I'm making it very clear here. The matter is already before, and it's going to be taken up tomorrow before a bench of the Supreme Court. The problem is that an impression is sought to be created, Mr. Thakurta, that this bench is motivated by some other interests.
Rahul, let me tell you categorically that it's extremely unfortunate that you or your colleagues have not done your homework.
Okay.
Because all the documents that you are showing were made available in the public domain on the 21st of November 2017. Go back, please. I stand by what I'm saying. After that, there have been several follow-up stories, not only in the Caravan, but in various other publications.
No, let's talk about it.
Again,
Indian Express? You want to talk about the Indian Express?
I'm not
It
talking
completely
about,
shredded.
excuse me.
It shredded the Caravan magazine article to smithereens.
But let me
it came
also,
to the same conclusions, and it also
Rahul,
put out the ECG report.
You like the sound of your own voice?
I don't, sir.
Excuse me. If you'll give me 3 minutes, I'll read out 20 questions, okay, which neither you in Times Now or the Indian Express has answered. Will you give me that time? I'll read them now.
Go ahead.
Why was the late Judge Loya first taken to an orthopedic hospital run by a doctor with links to the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh instead of a better equipped and more reputed hospitals in Nagpur, including the Lata Mangeshwar Hospital, the Wockhardt Hospital, also called the Wockhardt Heart Hospital, when they are in close proximity?
It was the closest hospital, sir, at the time of an emergency.
Dande Hospital.
At the time of an emergency, it was the closest hospital. ECG was conducted.
There you are. You're wrong. Your facts are wrong.
Really?
Okay.
What are these?
Lata Mangeshkar Hospital.
What is this?
Excuse me. All those documents were put out.
Are forged.
1 second, Rahul.
Is that your dispense?
Excuse me. You look at the website of Caravan.
I don't need to look at Caravan. It's not gospel for me. It might be gospel for you. My correspondent's hard work is gospel for me.
I'm sorry to say, please I ask you and your correspondent to go back to what was published on the 21st of November 2017, and please, you are recycling material which is already in the public domain. And if you want to, I can tell you that a whole lot of questions have been raised, including on the Indian Express report. Suddenly 2 judges appear out of nowhere.
Do you believe the investigation that was done by the Indian Express, or was that also tendentious? Tell me.
Excuse me. The Indian Express essentially did a cover-up job.
Cover-up job.
And you're trying to add to that.
Cover-up job.
Excuse me, will you give me some time? I'll tell you why.
So who is Paranjoy Thakurta to stand in judgment of everyone's journalism?
Who are you, Rahul Shivshanakar?
Who is Paranjoy Thakurta to stand in judgment of people's journalism?
Who are you?
Especially those people who are not here to defend themselves.
Who are you?
I invited Hartosh Singh Bal to be here tonight. I spoke to him. And he said, no, I don't do TV anymore. I said, but there are so many inconsistencies. I would like to hear. No, 1 second.
The same question. Who are you?
Mr. Thakurta, I am nobody. I am only saying that there are contradictions that are emerging. I am not concluding anything.
Precisely, you are not.
I am only suggesting that these documents, sir, you can crucify me tonight. You might even get great happiness from doing so.
Excuse me,
I welcome it. I welcome it. My conscience is clear. These documents.
My conscience is very clear.
1 minute, sir.
In pointing out
Let me tell you, Mr. Thakurta, I don't peddle stuff from other people's. And I'm making it very clear, from other people's websites, because I need to be certain that those are not cooked up, dressed up documents. You can always revisit a story. You can always go back to the source.
Anything more.
Excuse me, sir.
Revisited the story that was published more than a month and a half ago.
Sir,
and we want
there are 2 versions.
You've allowed me to raise 1 out of 20 questions.
Go ahead, sir. You have the whole evening.
No, I don't.
You have the whole evening. Go ahead.
I
answered you because it was the closest hospital. You have a problem with that response.
Right,
Let's have a look.
Okay.
There's no way we are going to win this.
What I'm trying to say is, why was the zero first information report registered at the Sitabuldi police station, which has jurisdiction over Mediterranean? Why was it transferred to the Sadar police station, which has jurisdiction over Ravi Bhavan? Could this mean that there was some extraordinary event at Ravi Bhavan which was brought to the notice of the police at Sadar? Third, Why were there blank entries in the occupancy register for Ravi Bhavan immediately?
I'll tell you, sir. I'll tell you. It's not a blank entry. The man stayed under the name of another judge because the judge booked his accommodation, and that's happened in our company many times. My accommodation is booked under the name of a colleague.
Why does the occupancy register
one
Ravi
second,
Bhavan list two dates from 2017 in the record of a guest who was meant to have stayed there in 2014?
Sir, should I play out? We went down and met the individual who runs the guest house. Let's play it. You know what he said? He didn't even stay there. He said Judge Lawyer didn't even stay there. So let me play it out. No, one second.
Point is
you answered. You want an answer? I am going to the source.
There are multiple inconsistencies and contradictions.
Please. Let's. You see, you can't shout me down. You want me to put out the answer? I'm putting it out. We went to the source. Let's play out. The gentleman who we spoke to from Ravi Bhavan, who said Justice Lawyer didn't even stay there. Let's play it out.
Justice Lawyer साहब को लेकर आंकड़े हैं सर वो
इधर खराब है फोन पर
मानखेड़े साहब ने बोला कि मोरोने साहब ने बोला
मोरोने साहब बुधवार तक की छुट्टी पे है, गुरुवार को आएंगे तो उसके बाद में देख सकते
सर तो कुछ जानकारी मिल सकती है वहाँ ठहरे थे नहीं ठहरे थे सर
हमको कैसे हमको नहीं मालूम। हमारे पास में एंट्री जो है वो कुलकर्णी के नाम पे है,
उनके नाम पे कोई
एंट्री नहीं है।
तो वो
पेपर में तो आ रहा है, आज के पेपर में भी इतना बड़ा आया लेट आपके इसमें यहाँ रुका ही नहीं था ना,
यहाँ नहीं रुके थे।
हमारे पास में एंट्री जो बता रही है जो माही से लेके गए टाइम साहब पिंडे वालों ने भी लेके गए, इसमें कुलकर्णी के नाम पे है ना एंट्री।
तो आप मैं देख सकता हूँ कैसे वो
रजिस्टर साहब के पास में गुरुवार को आएंगे या
गुरुवार को मिलेगा, अभी नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि पुराने रजिस्टर में तो होगा ना सर?
पुराने रजिस्टर में है, एंट्री है, इसके पहले भी लेके गया, पेपर में भी आया, सब कुछ आया और वो सब रजिस्टर वहाँ पे जमा हो गया, डिवीजन में जमा हो गया।
कहाँ पे जमा हो गया?
अभी नहीं है ना, बोल रहा ना, जब तक गुरुवार को साहब नहीं आएंगे, गुरुवार तक छुट्टी है, गुरुवार को जब तक आएंगे नहीं, जब तक कि आप माहिती ले सकते हैं।
गुरुवार को आएंगे ना,
गुरुवार तक छुट्टी थी।
Okay, so we've heard from the receptionist saying there was never a judge lawyer who stayed there. That much is consistent, viewers. That much is consistent. It also proves that we did go actually right down to the source. We didn't rely on documents that were easily available and then theorized on the back of it. There are some fundamental questions that need to be asked. That need to be asked tonight without the malice. No one is against an investigation. No one believes that the matter should not be examined by the bench. But what definitely needs to be done is that nothing should be prejudicing the matter before it comes up tomorrow. Already, however, we have been told that that judge and that bench are in some way incompetent. So even if that judge or that bench, now here's the catch, were to throw out that PIL, several questions will be asked because that impression has already been created and we don't have an iota of evidence. That's the trick, that's the trap. Let's go across to the BJP spokesperson who wants to come in. I can see him raise his hand. Dr. Patra, go ahead, sir.
First and foremost, Rahul, I would like to congratulate you for the kind of investigation and investigative journalism that Times Now has done. But nonetheless, I would like to begin with a caveat, saying that, well, 7 people are sitting over here in the panel. But I firmly believe, as not the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, but as just a citizen of country, that this 7 panelists is less in wisdom as far as the 2-judge bench of the Supreme Court that is hearing the case is concerned. I would repose my faith on the 2-judge bench, which in fact only a few days ago summoned the autopsy report and in fact summoned the artifacts as well as all the documents from the Maharashtra Council. While the Supreme Court is seized of the matter, while the Supreme Court is hearing the matter, I don't understand as to why we should have literal heart attacks over here in the panel. I mean, people almost ready to fall down their seats saying that no, we all know for sure that Judge Loya was murdered. For God's sake, in this beautiful democracy called India, have faith in the highest democratic process, that is the judiciary of this country. It is an independent judiciary. As far all those innuendos on the judiciary system is concerned, that there is a system of bench fishing, bench hunting, forum shopping, and that there are certain junior judges who have been assigned this job. Only today, your newspaper, Rahul, the Times of India, has come out with a list of 15 extremely sensitive cases, which including the coal scam, the 2G scam, the Bofors scam, and what not and what all, which had been ascribed for the last many years to the so-called junior judges. None of these pseudo-liberals made a hullabaloo then. And let me come to a very important point over here. 2012, we had a PIL filed to the court number 8, in fact, to which the court number 8 was hearing. It was a PIL about Rahul Gandhi and his sexual attempt on Sukanya Devi. So in fact, then we did not say why the court number 8 should be hearing Rahul Gandhi's sexual attempt case. Why not the senior most judges should be hearing the PIL? We never ascribed any intention to court number 8. The Bharatiya Janata Party was in opposition then. But Rahul Gandhi got a clean chit from the Supreme Court then. So should we be saying that that was a forum shopping done by the Congress party? Should we be saying, should these pseudo-liberals then raise their voice saying that no, Rahul Gandhi had raped Sukanya Devi, but there was an attempt by the Congress party to fix benches, and then finally court number 8 heard the case and disposed the case. There were much more than what was discussed. So today that is what they are suggesting, and this is demeaning the judiciary of the country.
Mr. Shakunta,
and I firmly believe
that
people of maturity should not do this.
What Mr. Sambit Patra, Dr. Sambit Patra is saying has got nothing to do with your so-called investigation.
No. You respond to the charges that are being made, that there is an attempt being made.
Rahul, don't ask me to speak if you're not even going to give me half a minute to speak. I'm saying you are claiming that Judge Loya, the late Judge Loya, may not even have stayed at Ravi Bhavan. That is directly contradicting what two judges have said. I am asking you a straight question.
I am only telling you what I found. I am not dressing up the facts. Like a lot of other people who dress up the facts. We are being honest.
Excuse me.
Even though it might contradict. It might contradict.
There are lots of contradictions.
No, one second. This is very important. This is how honest Times Now is. If I really wanted to dress up this, I would have started from point A. So you're proving my point, sir.
Excuse me, Rahul.
Now go ahead.
I am making a point over and over again. The last complete entry preceding the entries directly related to judges, the Judge Loya's alleged stay at Ravi Bhavan, the occupancy register for Ravi Bhavan lists 2 dates from 2017 in the record of a guest meant to have stayed there in 2014. Please explain why this happened.
Sir,
there are multiple inconsistencies. There are multiple contradictions in the testimony.
As I am not in a position, and let's be very clear about this, excuse me.
You said, you have been repeatedly saying over the last hour that you know that he died a natural death.
I
How
don't.
do you know?
I am saying that on the basis of scientific evidence, the post-mortem, the viscera, and the... One second, sir, please. If you... Look, I mean... You want to shout me down? Go ahead. You're in my studio.
I'm giving you a taste
you're
of your
asking
own
me a
medicine.
question, but you are saying, Mr. Shivshankar, that I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that there is hard scientific evidence, sir, which concludes
I am saying
that
this evidence is more than a month and a half old. It was made public, and thereafter a lot of things have happened.
So then the court should not summon it because it's there.
No, of course the court should summon it.
Why should it? Why should it? It's all there. It's all old hat. It's all old hat. Let's not summon anything. Let's not, in fact, investigate anything. Caravan should not have done it. Neither should have Indian Express, because it was already out in the Caravan.
We must have an investigation.
There you go. I think that is such a position. But should it be prejudiced? Should we actually have people holding press conferences trying to influence the court? Should we have people? No, sir. No. We're not influencing anybody. Since a claim has been made, excuse me, since a claim has been made, here are some facts that we are broadcasting. That look, there is some stuff available here. Right here in these studios, in my hands. These are viscera scientific reports, so you can question science, you can question the motives of the doctors
that these documents were available more than a month and a half ago.
That they claim, sir, that they claim. As I told you, sir, I don't believe in peddling stuff that has appeared without verifying for myself.
Please
the
do
context
a double check.
remains, no, one second, the context remains fresh, because today individuals such as yourself, individuals such as yourself were part of an audience where individuals such as Dr. John Dayal took to the podium and made certain comments, prejudging an issue. That's all.
Another gentleman who made comments.
Let me bring in, wait 1 minute, let me bring in another senior journalist, Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava joins me. Mr. Srivastava, go ahead, sir. You've heard this.
Well, it's been an interesting listen, really. I must say that. See, what unfortunately or fortunately, we live in times where just about everything has become politics. Everything is so polarized that those who demand an inquiry, it's being done in a manner as if Amit Shah is already guilty, and those who are opposing the inquiry are talking in a manner as if they will want to exonerate him. So the thing is, and the truth, like always, will lie somewhere in between. We don't know whether these allegations are true. We need to find out.
Yes.
So far, see, I hold the Indian Express in great regard, and Rahul, I also hold you and Times Now in great regard. So if there is an investigation, if there are certain scientific reports which you have come out, let there be an honest and serious rebuttal, because we are not jury. We really don't know which entry, which date, which time this happened, that happened, staying, not staying, this report, whether somebody accompanied him, not accompanied him. And the bigger tragedy is, like you pointed it out, that if there is an inquiry, Amit Shah's position becomes untenable in conventional political terms. I don't think in the current BJP political terms it becomes untenable, because I think he will still continue, even if an inquiry is ordered, because they will wait for the outcome. But because most people are
so that's a bit unfair. You know, when you say, and you're being a little, you're being snide, because the same can be said of the Congress party and its president, Rahul Gandhi, who's under investigation today as we speak for the National Herald case. So let's be a little balanced here.
Can I just finish with one more sentence? You know, while I honestly don't think that the rigging mechanism or the bench fixing or court fixing or whatever fixing is so efficient that they can come out with all these reports, I am tempted to believe these reports, because so many Viscera reports, police report, this report is very difficult to fix in an incompetent system.
Do you know what concerns me, sir? You know what concerns me most? I'll tell you what concerns me. What concerns me is that four very senior, extremely knowledgeable, extremely erudite individuals made a very serious allegation against the Chief Justice of India without any proof.
Well, but
that concerns me.
That's a separate issue.
That concerns me. You know why? Because I will never be able to anymore believe bench fixing. It's made categorically. Bench fixing. That bench fixing was...
Rahul, Dushyant Dave on another news channel said that Mr. Mishra, who is hearing this matter now, incidentally a matter that has been filed by somebody whom I don't want to associate with, that person is close to the BJP. This has been made, I can show it to you. So my problem with you is this: you question the Indian Express's journalism, the same paper that held up during the emergency. Sir, please let me complete. 10 seconds.
Did I?
You said you did a cover-up job.
You said you did a cover-up job. You said I did a cover-up job.
So please give me my
cover-up for who?
10 seconds, sir. I did not interrupt you. You questioned Times Now while sitting in Times Now.
Yes.
Okay, that's your right. But so why is it that Hartosh Balan Caravan for you is gospel and a Bible, but everybody else putting out facts? No, one second, sir. One second. And second point, sir. Any judge who takes a look at it, whether it's Arun Mishra, Deepak Mishra or Mr. Chalameshwar, why is it that you are making a distinction, or your group is making a distinction between one judge and another? And my third point, sir, you sound like Donald Trump. For him, Fox News is all gold, and for anybody else's news is bad. You sound just like that. Caravan is all gold, and everybody else, including the Indian Express, who fought against the emergency, is bad. That's not right, sir. You're a hypocrite. Then that's a hypocrisy.
Mr. Poonawalla, one second. May I respond to what he said? Of course. Mr. Poonawalla, those innuendos are unwarranted. I say, even now, that there were many questions left unanswered in the Indian Express. Why did I call it a cover-up?
Cover-up, you said.
Why did two judges suddenly appear after 3 years? They never mentioned. Why was not a question asked about the allegation that was leveled by the late Judge Loya's father about him being under a lot of pressure, and the former Chief Justice? 1 minute.
Well,
so 1 minute.
You and your friends
one minute. I don't belong to any.
Excuse me. Various organizations.
Excuse me.
Are not the judge and jury of who's wrong and guilty.
If
you have any facts, go to court, which you should have done from the last 3 years, which you didn't do, sir.
Gentlemen, I don't want this to become personal. This is not about journalists and journalism. 1 minute, please. Please. Mr. Poonawalla, Mr. Thakurta, please. Okay, gentlemen, let's not go down that, please. the seamy underbelly of Indian journalism. I don't want to have it belched out here. Please, I just want to go back to the points. And I want to bring out Mr. Ahmed Abdi. Mr. Ahmed Abdi, thank you, first of all, for being so patient. You haven't had a word edgeways. It's 32 minutes past the hour. I'm coming to you, Dr. Patra. I just want to go straight across to Ahmed Abdi. Ahmed Abdi, you are representing, Abdi Saab, you are representing also one of the petitioners. I want you to come in. And I want you to tell me, sir, do you believe today that there is a definite political connect to this entire case, that there is a definite shadow here of someone trying to create, and you can answer this, create the impression that justice in the case of the Sohrabuddin fake encounter was somehow compromised? That's the fundamental question. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about Judge Lawyer's death.
The main thing here is, hello?
Yes, sir, go ahead. I can hear you clearly.
Rahul, the main thing here is, one story Caravan has given. Now another story you are telling. Now, in our setup, who will resolve these contradictions? What we are asking for an independent inquiry to put all these contradictions at rest.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
And it's a purely legal issue. There is no political dimension to it. But anyway, because if there is a political person is involved, there may be some political ramifications for them. But it is not a political issue at all. This is a legal issue
let me ask you,
which has to be resolved.
Let me ask you, sir, because this is a question that we put down here.
That is an independent inquiry.
Let me ask you, sir, the timing of the Caravan article also in the run-up to the Gujarat elections can be questioned. So, Mr. Abdi, there is that issue too. Everything seems to have come out 3 years after the event, or nearly 3 years after the event. Why?
That is why we have asked for an independent inquiry to put everything to rest.
No, you haven't answered my question.
There will be
Given that the Caravan article raising questions over the circumstances of Judge Lawyer's death was published ahead of the Gujarat elections, can these claims be divorced from its political backdrop? That's the question we've been asking for about an hour. So, simple question. You can accuse us of coming late to the party, but what about the Caravan?
When political... Yes, when political people are involved, it will have political repercussions. But there is no political issue involved here.
Really?
It's only a legal issue.
Really?
It has to be resolved by legal process.
Dr. Patra, do you agree? 1 minute. Dr. Patra, let me bring in the Bharatiya Janata Party on this. There is no political issue involved here, so you should divorce the politics from a quest for justice. Dr. Patra, the BJP doesn't need to actually even bother with rebutting Rahul Gandhi or the left or the TMC or anyone else, because there's no politics.
Rahul, I heard everyone very carefully and allow me some time to put my views over here. Number one, the former speaker was absolutely right when he said that this is a legal issue, which is the highest legal edifice of this country. As per my belief, the highest legal edifice of this country is Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is seized of the matter is in front of a bench in Supreme Court, and yet we are shouting at the top of the voice over here. Secondly, the second important contention over here is there is a smell of conspiracy. Now, where does the conspiracy lie? I see the conspiracy lying on the other side of the river, and let me justify as to why the river. Number one, in fact, when one of the petitioners brings the case to the highest court of the country, the Supreme Court, we have two senior advocates, Mr. Dushyant Dave and Indira Jaisingh, coming to the floor of the Supreme Court and praying with folded hands that, "My Lord, don't hear this case, because the Bombay High Court is hearing this case, the order is just about to come, and the order would become infructuous." And in fact, these people go to the extent, Mr. Dave goes to the extent of threatening, bullying the petitioner and calling the judge in question as a henchman of the Chief Justice of India. So all this was transpiring, and shouldn't I call this a conspiracy? You questioning the highest court. Secondly, and most importantly, patience is the key term. We have people quite elderly to me. We have people quite experienced in every field, journalism, legal experts, etc., etc. But the amount of impatience I am seeing in them is something which is questionable. If you want to solve a conspiracy, then the most important thing is patience. The Supreme Court is hearing the case maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. All these documents that Rahul, in fact, Shivshankar has brought in front of us would be submitted to the court. The court would make a thorough round of it, and thereafter it will come to a conclusion whether there is a need for investigation or an investigation is uncalled for. Before that, why such kind of hullabaloo, such kind of impatience by a section of politicians only points to the conspiracy lying on the other side of the river. Okay. And this is consistent as far as the Congress party is concerned. My question, the four judges, the erudite judges, never talked about the Noah case in the letter.
Do we have a situation where a death is becoming a political prop, sir, because a certain lobby has decided that that's the way they want to conduct this? I can tell you that right now a panelist here is receiving 20 questions from the editor of the Caravan, even as I speak.
Not at all.
I'm not referring to you. Go ahead.
It's all in the public domain, Rahul.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Everything is in the public domain.
Respond to the question.
I don't get any questions from any magazine.
Good. Go ahead, sir. I'm asking you very straightforward.
No, but I was marveling at the flutter of panic in the BJP. Why panic? Why accuse us of impatience? This is a simple
Why question
request.
a 21-year-old boy who says his father died of natural circumstances? Why traumatize him? Why once again bring into his mind a diabolical impression that his father was murdered? Why not allow him to reconcile
I am so grateful
to a natural circumstance?
Listen to me now.
Why traumatize a 21-year-old?
You have brought it from the law and all the politics.
You have brought it, sir.
To a human point.
KTS Tulsi has brought it. Should I play out the views of KTS Tulsi right now?
Shame and a curse on all of them who brought this boy to have the press conference to say.
How do you know? How do you know?
Shame and a curse.
Murder my mother. That time they celebrated Shiv Mena's statement. Shiv Mena's statement was celebrated by John Dayal and his life when he said Shashi Tharoor did not murder Sunanda Pushkar. And I welcome that. I welcome that.
Don't you speak in the uncouth language of BJP.
Why two standards?
Don't you speak in the uncouth.
You're a handmaiden of whom I also know, sir.
Tell me.
You don't label allegations on me. Don't put allegations on me. You call a judge a BJP agent. You call everyone who disagrees with you a BJP agent. This is the tolerance you learn.
You don't speak
Shiv Mena's statement is gospel, Bible, but this Anuj Loya statement is at a temple. Gun is put at his temple. This is what they're tweeting. Gun at his temple. Congress social media activists
are
tweeting
the official spokesman of the BJP.
Prove it, sir. Prove it that there's a gun that's been put to the young lawyer's head. Prove it. Prove it.
You destroy.
Prove it. You need to prove it. No, you need to prove it. You need to prove that he's under pressure to come out and speak. You need to prove it, sir. You need to prove it. No, you need to prove it, sir.
Shame on the people.
You need to prove it. You need to prove that he was trundled out before the media. On what basis are you saying this? On what basis? I'm asking you, on what basis are you saying this? On what basis are you saying it? I'm asking you, on what basis are you saying it? Same can be said for the sister. You could have said that the sister was brought out by some agency to make a statement to suggest that her brother died an unnatural death. The same can be said. The same can be said.
I have maintained all through in a manner of suggesting that this looks like a case of more fury than the real substance. But on this boy issue...
No, what do you mean real substance? Do you believe that he didn't die?
He
died a natural death?
Judgment. But I think Amit Shah may not be as guilty in this one as so many people are trying to make him out. You know that. But I may be absolutely 1000% wrong. That's just because of all these reports can't be cooked up in hindsight. We are still not such an efficient.
What happened for 3 years?
But let me please.
A judge is murdered and no one talks about it for 3 years.
I was about to say something which is about the son of Justice Loya. You know, when Shehzad talks about Shashi Tharoor's or Sunanda Pushkar's son, that's a different case because there the father was involved. So you can't really compare the two.
In what sense was he involved?
In the sense,
are you suggesting he was guilty?
The father was being targeted. In this case, you know, in this case,
he's not his biological father.
See, that is a minor thing. In this case, yeah, please allow me to complete. Yes, Shehzad, don't get into this thing. Yeah, please. In this case, the most natural inclination is to ask for an inquiry. The natural thing is not to ask, not for a probe that my father died a natural death.
I respect what you're saying.
Sounds
sir.
unnatural. You know, most family members would jump at the opportunity.
But what about the sister then who made a statement to Caravan? What about the sister who made a statement to Caravan? How can you say that she was clear and conscience was clear, or she was also mobilized or motivated?
We are entitled to
Standard separate news.
Okay, one by one.
Yes.
Okay. Firstly,
Not to have an inquiry is unnatural.
Mr. Poonawalla,
Yes, sir.
I don't belong to any group other than the group comprising my wife and our two children. So do not allege that I am acting on behalf of one group or the other. 1 minute.
Cover-up job. Whom were they covering up for? Is the Indian Express the handmaid of BJP? You tell me that.
1 minute.
I think Ramnath Goenka's journalism is better than anybody else sitting here. So please,
Mr. Poonawalla,
do not say that they are an agent
Mr.
of the
Poonawalla,
BJP. I stand up for Indian Express. You can stand up for Caravan. You stand up for Caravan.
One article of the Indian Express, I, as an independent journalist, felt it was akin to a cover-up job because of the questions it did not answer.
But cover-up is a very
Mr. Rahul
strong
Shivshankar,
word.
1 minute. I think the reason
But
why
isn't
this
cover
is so,
up a strong word, sir?
1 minute, it is. Now I'm telling
But
you
if
why
it is,
this
then
is so political.
if it is, sir, you've just slandered a very, very
Excuse
well-known,
me, Rahul.
well-renowned
I have made this
Indian
with
publication.
full responsibility because I told you why. The
Sir,
2 or 3 important questions
Sir,
they didn't answer.
well,
is
sir,
how
you know, you
1
can
minute.
accuse somebody of being inefficient.
No, you're not
But, sir,
letting me
cover up.
speak. You're
You
not
can say
letting
that
me
they
speak.
didn't.
I'll tell you why.
They didn't do a
didn't
good
tell us
job
where
of covering their flanks while they reported it. You could say they were lazy, but you can't
No,
say they
Rahul,
covered up, sir.
I'm saying
When you
suddenly-
say they covered up, you mean to say that there was
Excuse
something
me, Rahul, why
more.
didn't the Indian Express tell us why suddenly 2 judges who had
Sir,
been
you are a
silent for 3
journalist
years?
just like me.
1
We know the
minute.
power of words.
Please listen. Why did 2 judges who had been silent for 3 years suddenly come forward and testify to the Indian Express? Why is it that these
Maybe because they didn't agree with what the caravan was doing, and someone actually went to them
Why did the
and
sister who was silent for 3 years say, given an interview just before the Gujarat election?
Please let me finish.
Please tell me that.
Please let me
Well,
finish.
why don't you respond to that
Yes, I'm
question too?
responding.
Yeah.
Because the sister was scared.
Just before the Gujarat election, she was not scared.
No, Niranjan
So she would have
Thakre
been
has
more
working-
scared before the Gujarat
You
elections
got that
because
wrong.
You see the double standards
One
here? I
second.
agree with Sanjeev
You-
Srivastava.
one second, you're
He's
not letting me
completely
finish.
right. But
Niranjan
there's double
Thakre-
standards by some people here.
Okay.
Mr. Poonawalla, Niranjan Thakre
The
had been
BJP
working on
wants
the
to
story
respond to you.
for 8 months before it was published.
Okay, we are making serious
before-
allegations.
long
One
before
against
it
the
was
Indian
published.
Express, once against the BJP. The Indian Express isn't here to defend itself, and for that, apologies. But I certainly want to go and bring in the BJP. The BJP has been accused of putting pressure today. Has been indirectly accused of putting pressure on Justice Loya's son, and perhaps orchestrating all sorts of other strange circumstances. So your response to that? Dr. Patra.
Who made the charge? I have.
See, let me come down to technicalities. I mean, let me tell you, the judge, I mean, the ones who are sitting over here in judgment, they pronounced that the doctors who in fact submitted the reports that have been read out by you, Mr. Rahul Shivshankar, they were all bought, they were all wrong. The judges who accompanied Judge Loya, they were also wrong. Remember, they are judges of the Bombay High Court. Still, they were all wrong. Then we have important journalistic houses, we have important journals and newspapers like the Indian Express, the Times Now, all of them are wrong. We have family of Judge Loya, the son of Judge Loya, Anuj Loya, he is also wrong. Only a motley crowd of these pseudo-seculars are the one who carry the gospel and the light of truth with them. Rest, everyone is wrong. The Supreme Court is fixed, the benches are sold out. Only this motley crowd is the one who project themselves as the Jesus Christ and the harbinger of truth. The people of this country are intelligent enough, they know what you are and what you are not. Secondly, coming to Anuj Loya and those who are saying that there was a gun kept under his temple and he was forced to give out statement, let me tell you one thing. See, I, Rahul Shivshankar, am a spokesperson of the party since the last 4 years, national spokesperson. Even today when we have to conduct a press conference after all these experience, night and day after night, I still feel stressed when the mics are kept in front of me, when the cameras are switched on in front of me. This 21-year-old son of Judge Loya, for first time experience in front of the camera, do you think he would have looked as fresh as a movie actor? Of course not. He must have been under stress of the camera, of the bodies of question which the journalists were throwing on him. This is
how can you make that? How can you make that? No, 1 second, sir. How can you suggest that someone actually brought him? I mean, is that a fair assumption to make? No, but I'm asking you, is that a fair assumption?
The debate which we are doing or the kind of...
No, but I want you to be specific.
The munchies they had, it's all also in a way trying to influence or put pressure on the judiciary.
Precisely. That's the
Supreme
fear.
Court. Whether it's a public meeting or it's a debate.
Today, a very well argued piece.
We have a system.
The Indian Express.
We have to have faith in
the Indian Express.
One minute, sir.
The Indian Express today, the lead banner article of the Indian Express, the editorial, raises some very pertinent questions. It's been written
we just can't doubt everything,
by Bhanu Pratap Mehta. And anyone who has a sense of some redeeming balance will read it and say, yes, I think the justices, in all their wisdom, have actually shortchanged some of us by not giving out details which are so important. Because if they don't, we end up in a situation where the courts will freeze. There will be paralysis. And even if there are frivolous PILs, they will be admitted. Because there will be people who will easily question motives. And unfortunately, we have come to this pass because of a very polarized atmosphere. We have a situation where someone who passed away 3 years ago, God bless him, is today being resurrected as a victim of a cynical political plot. That's where we are at. The courts are wanting, have admitted the PIL, are wanting to look at it. But today, 24 hours ahead of that hearing, the integrity of the judges that are going to be hearing this matter have been insidiously questioned. So even if they find no virtue, they may not be able to do very much about it, because the moment they throw this out, they will be accused of favoring the dispensation. That's the tragedy. That's the tragedy. We leave it at that on India Upfront. The Newser takes this forward because there are still other details which we haven't put out. We talked to people, individuals who escorted in a van the judge to the hospital. Never heard from. That's coming up on the Newser.